Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about a game called Cloud City. I played Cloud City yesterday on Board Game Arena, and so I've not actually played the tabletop version, but I kind of wish I had because it has a really cool element involving 3D buildings and walkways that close the gaps between those buildings. However, I will say the implementation on Board Game Arena is very well done for a 3D game or a game that needs a 3D element. So I recommend checking it out there if you don't have access to the tabletop game at this point. So in Cloud City, the basic idea is that you are putting down tiles, and those tiles have each tile has two different buildings on it. So for example, at the base of this tile is a little green space here and a green space here. And when you put that tile down, you also put green buildings on those spaces. There are three different buildings types, and they're just different heights. So blue buildings are the shortest, then green, and then we'll call it tan. And the reason these colors matter are kind of two reasons, mostly just to make it visually appealing, but they're distinctly different heights. And that matters because you are trying to place buildings as far away as possible from each other so that you can place down the longest possible walkway, because the longer walkways are worth more points. And you're doing this tile by tile. So you can see here, this player managed to put this really, really long tile here. I believe that is the maximum number of points that you can get from a walkway. But also, and so that's kind of maybe the easier way to do it, because of the taller walkway, it's tough to get anything in the middle of that, except if you have another tower of the same height, because then you've broken up this walkway into two separate shorter walkways worth fewer points. However, it gets harder as you go down, and you can see this player did this really well. See this blue walkway here? They managed to have blue buildings really far away from each other across this little city area, the city here. And so they could place a huge, long walkway here. So they managed to do this without getting any other buildings in the way. My favorite mechanism, as I'm kind of getting to, is that height matters in this game. The height of these different buildings really matters because if I put like the greens are in the middle, I could put blue buildings near them, around them. Like you have this blue walkway is lower down than this green walkway here because the green buildings are taller. So I'm able to build over buildings and still have really long walkways at different levels. Here's another one. This green walkway goes under these tan walkways for more points. It doesn't matter if it's above or below. What matters is that you can actually connect that walkway between two buildings. So I don't know, it's just not very often, and I know this is like the entire game here, but it's not very often that I see a game where the height of the things that you are placing or using matters in the game itself. And it's everything in this game. It's everything in Cloud City. So yeah, I wanted to hear your thoughts about Cloud City if you've played it, or if you can think of other games where the heights of things matters. The only thing I can think of from Stonemaier games is there's a tiebreaker in Tapestry, where if you have the tallest building at the end of the game, and you happen to be tied with another player in the lead, then the player with the taller building in their capital city wins. But I'm sure there are other games that use height as a mechanism, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about them in the comments below. Thanks.